So, welcome to episode 51. Just want to tell everybody out there what we're going to talk about tonight. Our first topic is Trump canceling all orders that were used, that Biden used the Autopen on. So, that should be interesting. We got Alina Habba that was removed as a prosecutor in New Jersey. And I'm assuming they're going to appeal, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then Bill's got a nice little local event he went to that is pretty cool, so he's going to talk about that. Giving an ultimatum to Maduro to step down and leave, trying to curb the drugs coming into this country. And then Trump's idea of using tariffs instead of replacing or cutting income tax. Now, that would sound good, but I don't think the numbers work, but we'll talk about that. The West Virginia National Guards that were shot in D.C. We'll get into details on that. Trump wants to cancel executive orders, huh?
Well, everything that, everybody saw the way Joe Biden looked. And was he really running the country or not? I mean, you ask somebody on the left, oh, come on, that's all a bunch of bunk. Mm-hmm. But you got to admit, there was a lot of times that, that one interview that Mike Johnson did with him about the bill about buying gasoline and
yeah, you signed it. You signed it.
Yeah, from Russia, getting oil and gas from Russia. It was like you signed it, and he said, "No, I didn't." He says, "Yes, you did. You signed it, right?" "No, I didn't. I don't remember that."
Yeah,
and then he said, "Oh, it was something else. That was just something else." And Johnson says,
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't." And so, I don't want to put the president down. He was our president of the United States, but
yeah,
he's an older gentleman. But Trump is older too. He's going to be 80 come June.
Yeah,
and
everybody used the Autopen. Trump even used it too. But the difference is, I think, and this is again just an opinion on my part, but I think the Autopen was used by a lot of people that Biden didn't know was using the Autopen to sign his name.
That's what's going on here. That's what they're trying to figure out.
Everybody's done it.
Yeah.
But the president is the one that's supposed to do it if he's signing something.
Yeah.
And there's I did some reading on the Autopen too, and there's like rock stars and different people too that use an Autopen when they have to sign so many things, or they have to limit how many people they sign for.
Oh.
But we don't know who was working the Autopen. I think that's the big mystery that everybody was talking about. Who was really working it, and he pardoned all these people.
It does come true that somebody was using the Autopen, and Biden didn't know about it, or Biden did, but he didn't really care because he was too tired or too old or too whatever.
Or leaving, yeah.
This is a major, major story that's going to be unbelievable. Talk about Watergate. This will really make Watergate look like nothing.
Well, this is, and it says it right here, too. It was not directly signed by him, and that's the big deal. That's the difference between using the Autopen and having somebody else use it on your behalf. That could be a problem. That's what I think.
Don't you think it was strange, if you put your thinking cap on, I know that's hard for you to do. Mm-hmm. Don't you think it was strange when he was running, Joe Biden, in the 2020 election, and Bernie Sanders was in the lead? No. He won New Hampshire. I don't know. He won Iowa. They showed him in the lead. He was in, and then they went to South Carolina, and all of a sudden, Joe Biden comes out the winner, and all of a sudden he's the candidate. I thought that was really strange.
Well, the whole thing was strange.
Well,
and then the Kamala thing.
Did they pay Bernie Sanders off to
back out? You mean
back out or whatever he did? How can that happen? Bernie Sanders winning Iowa, he's winning New Hampshire. If I was a Bernie Sanders fan, and also being Bernie Sanders, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, Biden's he comes out of South Carolina, he won, and now he's the candidate.
Yeah.
I guess they thought that he was the one that could beat Trump. They probably thought Bernie Sanders couldn't beat
him, right?
And I don't know.
And you wonder at this recent election, right? How they picked her. That they thought I think Biden had a better chance than she did.
Yeah,
but,
she said.
Who knows?
She seemed
Now
like
we're
a
going
nice
back
lady,
in
but she
time.
seemed to be she was a horrible candidate. She really was. She didn't even know. When she went on The View and they asked her, what would you do differently than what Joe Biden did? And she looked up in the air and stared and goes, oh, I wouldn't have done anything. And
Yeah.
really?
Nothing
We have
different.
high inflation, people coming over the border. You're not going to change anything?
Right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
right there. That, a lot of people said right there was the election change.
Oh, it
She
was.
said that.
Well, also, too,
Not going to change nothing.
when he
Really?
got the assassination attempt in Butler,
Oh yeah.
because they said that her campaign
Right.
people, when that happened, and he put his fist up in the air and he's
Oh yeah.
fight, fight, fight,
Fight. Yeah.
they all looked at
That
each
was
other and
it.
said, "We just lost the presidency."
Yeah. So we're going to see what happens with this Autopen, and can Trump actually reverse some of the things he did? That's another thing that we're going to hear about.
Yeah,
Does he have the
I mean, I don't know
power
how.
to do this?
Well, can he do it? What's he doing? Signing an executive order or something?
Yeah, he wants to get rid of like 92% of what he signed with the Autopen. Now, and a lot of it were pardons at the last minute. Remember, they were
Well,
coming off the
that's
assembly
the other
line.
thing.
You know,
That doesn't make any sense. There's Joe Biden at the inauguration of Trump. Remember, they were all standing behind him, all
yeah.
Bill Clinton,
Yeah,
George
yeah.
Bush, Joe Biden, and all of a sudden they get done, and it turns out that Biden pardoned all these people.
Yeah.
How did he do it? He's standing there behind Trump.
Well, that's what they said. He wasn't even in the area when it happened. So there's a story to keep following, guys. We'll have an update for you next week, but we'll hear more and more and more as this happens.
Yeah.
So it's always something. It's
It is.
gotta say that.
with
Gotta say
Trump.
that.
I mean, in a good way, it's always something. I mean, he's doing. Did you see what he did today in the speech about the funds for the kids, the $2,000 fund,
Yeah, it
and
came
then
from
Dell
Dell.
is going to add another
6.2 million.
Well, they're going to add $250 to each account, which comes out to
over
six,
and above
six-
his.
right.
Oh, neat.
So they're actually getting $2,250 or.
I think that's a great idea. You
It is a
you
great
have
idea.
A baby, and you
Oh, my
they
God.
put it away.
JP's
Yeah,
daughter, that's going to be born on the 8th of December or around that time,
right.
she qualifies.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if your granddaughter, I don't know if she would qualify or not. She was born 24 or 23.
20, I don't know. 23, I think. 2 years
Yeah,
old.
she
2.5.
might not qualify. This is for
Yeah.
people. I don't know what the criteria, but I know it's roughly
Beginning
children
of
that are.
2025, I think.
Is
Right?
that what it is?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Well,
it
it was. We reported on this at one
Yeah.
other podcast,
Oh, okay.
and I think it was the beginning of 25 or something like that. So that's a very good idea. Kids don't save.
Oh, I know.
Nobody saves. Did you say I didn't save? Any money I got, I wanted to
I had
buy. Huh?
that little. We were in school, Catholic school, actually. It said George Costanza on this Seinfeld episode. He had the little booklet, and they stamp it every time you put
right.
money in it.
Right.
And he forgot all about it. Now he's got like $3,000 in interest in it. But that's the first bank account I ever had.
Oh,
It looked like a little book, and they stamp it every time you put money in it.
any
Crazy.
money I got, I went to the diner
Yeah, coffee, water.
or kind of saved it up to buy Jensen coaxial speakers for the back of the Grand Prix. I mean, it's just stupid things when you look back.
Well, we always spend money.
Yeah.
When you want it, you get it. You find a way. What you see here is Alina Habba. I just put her picture up, and the appellate court found on Monday that Alina Habba was unlawfully serving in the top prosecutor in New Jersey, delivering a blow to, of course, President Trump as he fights for her. And, of course, she was a Trump supporter in a blue state.
Mm.
And this was a 3-panel judge. Now, I don't know if these judges were all, mixed or Democratic, Republican. I don't know which one they are, so it doesn't matter. But the bottom line is they held up a ruling to remove her. Now they have to appeal again, but this time they got to go to the Supreme Court to do this. And I don't know.
Are they saying that
She's
Trump or Pam Bondi or Trump didn't go through the proper steps to reinstate her?
I don't know. It just says that they voted because they disqualified her for not being, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess experienced enough. And she was appointed by Trump. And, I guess they had a red flag on her. Three-pound judge argues that Habba's appointment in October, was DOJ lawyer over, it was an unconventional way Trump and Attorney General Pam Bondi reinstalled Habba
Habba as U.S. attorney after her initial temporary appointment expired.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they just stuck
she had
her
a
back in.
temporary appointment serving Trump. She was Trump's lawyer
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
lot of these stupid
She
cases.
was a
that were
defense
going.
lawyer.
Right,
So
defense
that was
lawyer.
the other thing, yeah.
Habba is one of several names who became jammed up in court proceedings over allegations that Trump sidestepped the Senate and improperly exploited loopholes in federal vacancy laws to keep his preferred prosecutors in place.
Right. So they're saying that he unlawfully or illegally put her in there without the proper vetting or whatever has to go on. So, but she's been there for
I know
since
she has.
January.
Yeah.
I mean, seemed to be doing a good job. But really, what really gets me going is the fact that they want to reverse decisions she had made already in the past.
In the past year.
Yeah. How do you reverse something? If somebody was convicted and she was prosecutor and something happened,
Right.
would you reverse what she said to get him out in the street again? Why? So they could stab another young girl on a train? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's somebody in place. Of course, that won't happen. But to reverse her orders that were already there, if they weren't illegal, they shouldn't have to reverse all that. That seems to be a little bit much. I don't know. But, again, Bill, you're right. It comes down to a Trump supporter in a blue state. They're trying to do it in Alabama. It's the same thing. They're trying to get rid of the prosecutor there, and they're succeeding. And these judges are agreeing with these lower court judges.
Yeah.
And they went up to a different, and now they have to go to a federal to keep her in place. And I hope she gets back in. I mean, look, I don't know her personally, but she seems to be know her stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's a hard prosecutor.
She is. Yeah.
Is that what they're worried about? That we might put illegals or criminals back in prison? What are they worried about? We should be happy this is happening. I don't get it. It's still the same old stuff, going in circles here.
So the other two, the one in Virginia and California, Halligan and Asay.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Bill Asay.
temporary U.S. attorney.
And they're saying that they weren't gone through the right proper.
They're going after them too.
Now, come on. I mean, now this sounds like another Trump derangement syndrome.
It is.
To get Trump,
Yeah.
to make Trump look bad. I mean.
Yeah, they said that Halligan was unlawfully serving in her role.
Right.
What does that mean? I don't know. I mean, maybe I should have done more. But it is another way to hurt Trump, right? So we know the midterms are coming up.
Yep.
And we need to get rid of every Trump supporter we can possibly get rid of.
Right.
And that's what they're doing here. I mean, and honestly, guys, we're in trouble. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, we're going to say, look, on the Republican side, you better get your act together here and make sure you get out there and vote, because as it is now, we have Crockett running in Texas to be a senator. We're going to lose a seat there.
And then in Tennessee,
yeah,
that girl is running. Did you hear? I hate country music.
Yeah.
I hate Tennessee.
Yeah.
I hate Memphis.
Yeah.
I hate this. I hate that.
And it's almost a tie right now.
How can that be? How I just don't get people.
How can the people living there?
Because they're not informed. People are not informed. They hear these things on the drive-by media. They hear just a little bit that Trump is bad, Orange Man bad, he's a Nazi, he's this. Oh, maybe he is. It doesn't matter. It's all noise. They just want to vote for the other person.
Well, if it's all noise, how come they're not listening to the bad noise about her? She said it.
I don't know.
The Republican guy didn't say that stuff. Why would people, if we had a guy like Fetterman, right, and he hated PA and he hated this and he hated that, I don't think he'd be in office. So
Yeah.
that's what I was saying, we want to do something in the midterms here. We got to hold on to the House and the Senate. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. It's a battle already with just 3 extra seats. And when we need a 60 vote, you saw what happened when we had to open the government. It took forever.
Yeah.
So
I hope.
So hopefully, Alina Habba
when is
can
the
get back in.
government, the thing supposed to shut down again, and then The end of
I don't remember.
January.
Yeah, I think it's the end of
Oh my
January.
God!
So
If
they
we
have
go
till the
through
end of
that
January.
crap again.
Hopefully we won't, because a lot of people got hurt. Sorry, but so Bill, he does all this crap that I don't do.
I don't do crap. It's not.
It's
It's
not
a
crap.
lot of
I'm
fun.
kidding. It's not
It's
crap.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure it is. I don't like to have fun. What the hell's wrong with you?
No, my wife and I
All right,
during
what'd you do?
Easton. I forget what it's called.
Easton light the candle Christmas thing.
Yeah, it was the Christmas market downtown Easton in the square, and it was a lot of fun. And my wife and I were there when they lighted the. There's a big candle in the center of the square. People who know this area.
Yeah, well, I was talking about. I'll run the video real quick.
Yeah, they lit the
What'd they
candle.
do, a
There had to
countdown?
be 5,000, 4,000 people there,
Wow.
and it was cold, but it was nice. It was, and they had music playing, and just a lot of festivities that were going on. But they lit the candle. It was supposed to be lit 6:30. Everybody's at 6:30. We didn't light the candle till about 7:05.
Oh,
So I stood there with my phone recording this.
the whole thing. Yeah, I heard the countdown coming. And,
Fine. Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it was nice. I mean, there was all different vendors there selling things, and there's a lot of vendors selling food, and and it's going to be going on until the 21st of December.
Oh, okay.
And it starts usually during the day. It starts around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it ends around 8:30. And
So you had people on stilts.
there were people on stilts, and everybody was having their picture taken with them and
Nice.
everything. So it was kind of neat.
Well, I saw the lights. I mean, the lights down. First of all, the lights down in downtown Easton, PA, here are just gorgeous. the
Oh
way
yeah,
set it up.
they are.
And
When you walk-
Bethlehem City's the
yeah,
same way.
Bethlehem's the same. Yeah, they really do it up nice.
You know, there's a tradition in Bethlehem. For those of you who don't know, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, was one of the few cities named after actually Bethlehem.
Right.
Jesus Christ, Bethlehem, and one of the few. And the tradition here is one candle in each window. And when you walk down Main Street in Bethlehem, all the places have a single candle in every window, and it's so cool looking. They do a great job with the lighting and all that.
Yeah, it's called the Easton Winter Village,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that's what it's called. But it was a lot of fun. It's take your spouse, whatever, and just have a lot of fun.
Good. Well, good. I'm glad you had fun. That was good. Sorry I missed that one, too.
Right. You missed the blueberry.
I missed the Blueberry Fest, the
You missed the
garlic
bacon
fest,
fest, the
bacon
garlic fest.
Yeah, I missed it all. But that's all right. So what do we got? What do we got now? Maduro. right?
Doro. Ooh, this guy better leave. I think there's
So he's telling him he wants him to step down. Number one.
he
Right.
called him. He told him, listen, I'll give you asylum someplace wherever you want to go with you, your wife,
And
your
his
kids,
family.
the
Yeah.
whole family. You could get up and leave now. And they're saying most likely Cuba would take him, which is not far. I mean, they can just jump on a plane. But they questioned Trump about a phone call that he did do to Maduro, and Trump said it didn't go that well.
Oh, great. Well, apparently he's also asking for global amnesty for any crimes that he may have committed too.
So this guy's admitting that he's a bad guy.
Well, he knows he is.
Yeah.
We all know he is, right? Well, see, but then again, I got to say, the cartels are very strong, and you're a leader of this country. What are you going to do? Stop them, or cooperate and take the money, or who knows what's going on here? We don't know. It's not.
Well, if he puts boots on the ground, I mean, Trump is labeling them as terrorists.
I know.
When you're labeled as terrorists, we could go right in.
Well, that's what he did with Maduro.
Right.
Saying this is it, and now he can treat it that way. But we're getting pushback.
From the left.
Yeah.
And but
Because
I
he
just
said
got to
this is
say, I think I
another
told you
illegal-
about this. The Monroe Doctrine, that was from President Monroe way back in 1823.
Yeah, you were telling me.
And now what that did was, back then, still the country was kind of being overseen by France, England,
Right.
Spain, and they didn't want that.
Mhm.
And the president back then, I think it was John Monroe, was that his name? I forget, but he came up with this Monroe document that basically said, "Screw you, we're running our own area." That's basically what he said.
Yeah.
We're running our own country. We don't want any interference from you,
Okay.
which it held.
Okay.
So it
that's the
held.
law,
So
yeah.
in other words, they couldn't do any influence into our politics or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So then in beginning of 1900, like 1902, 1903, Teddy Roosevelt came out with another doctrine called the Roosevelt Corollary, Corollary, of December of 1904, which basically said we are the big honchos here in the western part of the world. In other words, if a Latin country, South American country, or a Central American country, meaning like Mexico and all that, if they don't, I guess, see the standards that we want them to act, we're like a big stick, and we can actually go and try to discipline them, if you want to say. I don't know what to say, but it's there in 1904. Roosevelt did it. Teddy Roosevelt was the one that added to the Monroe Doctrine. So, like Maduro,
Right.
Venezuela, he's not acting right. We can go in there and we
Yeah.
have all rights to take him out.
Especially if they've been labeled terrorist.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll see what happens. And he also said that if he does step down, he still wants to maintain
yeah.
control over the armed forces. So how do you step down and move away and
Yeah, I
retain
don't know.
our? So there's some power struggles there going
Oh, yeah.
on for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
And I could never understand it. So many people go to the little island of Aruba. It's supposed to be beautiful. It's very friendly there. It's right there
Indy.
where, yeah, it was very windy, but it's right there uh, where Venezuela is. I mean, it's like it's only, I don't know, 15, 20 miles off the coast of Venezuela. And I always wonder, how did that happen? I would think Venezuela would say, no, this is our property here.
Well, maybe they just yeah. Who knows? Maybe that's the only thing they are giving us,
Yeah.
a good vacation spot.
Yeah.
And then they said something about timing. They demanded that he resign immediately. So, like you said, the phone call didn't go well. So, there's
Right.
a
It
good
didn't
chance.
go well.
You gotta, if you try to look at it as him as a person with family and this, you're uprooting the entire thing. You're moving him out.
And Trump announced also about the airspace.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Yep, can't fly over Venezuela airspace anymore. And
Well, I think American. I would think American.
yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
military,
Well,
not us.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
planes.
Yeah.
So,
Let me
wow,
tell you.
it's
He is.
dangerous.
Well, it is dangerous, but it seems. But you know damn well, if something does escalate and we start some type of a war with them, they'd be crushed in 24 hours.
Yeah, well, we want that. Remember, he's
No, we
supposed
don't
to be a
want that,
president
no.
of peace, and he's
Right.
supposed to be stopping all these
Right,
other wars.
right.
And we did make a little bit of ground up on,
Yeah.
with Russia. So here's something that would be really cool. What do you got there? What do you on?
What am I on?
Yeah, go to the next one. What are you on?
This one here.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, this would be cool.
Well, this would be cool.
I don't think it's
It's
gonna.
not going to happen.
Try. You know what he likes to throw these things out there.
Now, before income tax was actually a thing, way back, the country got paid with tariffs. We didn't have income
I didn't
tax. Yeah, way back.
How do you find this out?
1800s or something. I looked it up. They used tariffs to pay the deficit down, and they didn't rely on the American people paying income tax way back when, until income tax was initiated, and then now we pay it all the time now.
Yeah.
So this was the idea. This is where the idea came from. It was like that years and years and years ago. But can you imagine not having to pay income tax? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Well,
I mean, we don't pay now. I mean, I haven't done my taxes yet, but
is he saying that the tariff money is also going to, because when you pay income tax, that's going to roads, it's going to bridges.
well,
being
yeah. Well,
repaired.
he's saying the tariffs will take all that
care.
up, and
It will?
that's what he was saying here. So,
Do you imagine
And
if he got that through?
well, listen, and he says it would be people that make under 200 grand. a
Right.
year. Right? Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, it'd be fantastic.
Because my Social Security, you see how high Social Security went up this year? Oh my God, 2.8%. We got such an increase, and I'm getting less money now at the end
Because of
because of Medicare went up and this went up. And,
Right. Just it washed it out.
and when it just washed it all out. I'm making $9 less now. So stupid. We need an 8% increase. Let's go. But now we got to wait another year.
But is he really trying to pass this?
Well, I say he's floated the idea, of replacing federal income tax with new tariffs on, everybody.
Right.
He said when tariff revenues come in, he can use them to replace a substantially cut income taxes for people making under $200,000, which would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But of course, people are saying, individual income taxes raise 27 times more revenue than the tariffs do right now, currently. Yeah. So he was saying do more tariffs, but we get a lot more from us hardworking people, and we got to pay them all this money. The bigger issue is related to the size of the tax base. The Internal Revenue Service for tax years 2021 shows American taxpayer reported almost $15 trillion of individual income tax,
right,
while paying $2.2 trillion of that in taxes. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I think he should just put it towards the deficit.
The tariffs, yeah, absolutely.
Pay it down.
Yeah. Hey, look, maybe if you get us in the black where Clinton had us, right? Let's face it, we did.
Oh, I know.
He was one of the only presidents that got us there.
Yeah.
If we get in the black, then maybe you can float the idea of cutting my income tax. That would be great.
Yeah. Boy, he was corrupt, Clinton. I look back at
They
his
were all
presidency.
corrupt.
I don't know. Clinton was. There was a lot going on with his wife and everything.
Yeah, I know. Well,
There was.
I know.
The Whitewater
emails
thing and all
yeah.
this. There was a lot going on.
I know. But there's controversy around every president. And, look at Kennedy.
Oh my God.
Who knows?
Who knows?
And that was
Right.
my theory. This was not one shooter.
Right.
There's a lot of
But
story
actually,
behind
the worst
who
one
went
that
after
I mean, if you want to read a good book by Bill O'Reilly, it's called "Confronting the Presidents." If you listen to this thing, and I have it in my car, so I listen to it. I'm driving around all the New Jersey and parts of PA. I mean, I listened to this book, and some of the things that the presidents didn't make any sense at all, especially Lyndon Johnson. The minute Kennedy got killed, he escalated Vietnam like that. It was like
He always wanted to.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and Kennedy didn't want it. Kennedy was
He wanted
trying
us
to
out.
stop it. He wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
And
Nixon was the one that got it ended it. 19.
well, Ford did, but Nixon was doing. But the problem with Nixon, he got tied up with Watergate. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got tied up with Watergate.
Right. Got on that plane.
And then Ford, right? And then Ford was the one that actually announced that we're pulling out.
Like when George Costanza's dad got thrown off the Boca Vista. He gets in a
Yeah,
Cadillac.
Del Boca Vista, we're going to. But you want to know something? You look back at that time, and what did you remember that time? Everybody was talking about how communism was going to take over because the North was communist, and if they took over South Vietnam, it would spread and go into Cambodia and can go over. They didn't do anything. All they did was take over South Vietnam, and nothing's really happened. I mean, I don't know.
Well, the last point on this income tax thing here, I got, we need like $2 trillion of revenue to make this work, right? Additional tariffs. It would make the tariffs so high we'd end up paying for it anyway because all the stuff would go up, and then it would hurt trade because nobody would sell to us anymore because the tariffs were so high. So it's a great idea, and I love to hear about no income tax, but
Right.
it's just not going to work.
Right.
So
You know how they started?
who?
The tariffs. Tariffs started, and I got this from the book. Tariffs started from Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt. After we defeated Japan,
Yeah.
he gave Japan. We weren't a conquering country. We didn't go into when we beat Japan. When Japan surrendered, we didn't go in there and take over the country.
No.
What we did was
We built
help
them
them
back up.
We built them back up, and what we did was we didn't charge them any tariffs for stuff that they were buying
Yeah. Yeah.
because Roosevelt felt like he wanted to help them. And it stayed. It stuck. Even after Roosevelt died, when Truman got in, and all those tariffs stayed on. If you really look at it, it was really Roosevelt. I mean, Roosevelt was a great president. He was probably one of our top 3 or 4 presidents. But that was, I understand what he was doing, but we let it go on too long. And that's why we got into all this mess.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense. Um, I didn't want tonight to go by because we're a little behind on this, but the two Virginian National Guard members that were in D.C.,
yeah,
Andrew Wolf
yeah,
and Sarah Beckstrom.
yeah.
And unfortunately, the 20-year-old girl, Sarah, lost her life
Can't believe it. 20 years old.
on the
Yeah.
27th of November, too. Yep. Just doing
Thanksgiving.
what she was told.
Yeah.
And they did not give her orders to shoot at American people. Some asshole comes out of nowhere and ambushes these guys with a revolver.
All the way
and
from
shoots them.
Washington State.
He drove from Washington State all the way
Yep.
there.
And he had a family back in Washington.
Yeah. When does it?
Wife with kids, and he just drove out there and
With a 357 Magnum. You know what kind of bullet is in that thing?
yeah.
I don't want to. So she lost her. Now, Andrew's showing signs of some recovery,
Yes, he is.
which is a good thing.
Yeah, he was I guess in an induced coma, but they said he's out of it now.
Yeah, and he's responding and he's, doing things that he's being asked to do. So I don't know where he got shot. Nobody ever, really said what happened, but I just hope he makes a recovery here. But it was an ambush style attack, and the guy shot like 10 or 15 times at these guys for no reason. And he was an Afghan?
Well, he helped the CIA when we were over there, but yes, he was from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But supposedly he helped the American troops over there, speaking and foreign
Oh, that's
language
right.
and all
Yes. Yeah.
that. And
So he was kind of
on our side
on
in
our
a way,
side.
but something happened to him. That's why now Trump evidently has taken the order of trying to ban all nationalists, anybody from Afghanistan to come over.
right. And we'll vet him better. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
vet
same
them
thing
better.
that's happened. Not to get off this subject real quick, but they were saying how all these illegals that were coming over, they gave them temporary amnesty. They let them into the country.
Yeah.
That led to work visas, which led to Social Security numbers, which led to allow them to vote. That's what they did from the very beginning. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the shooting was on the 26th, and unfortunately we lost Sarah Beckstrom the next day.
Yep.
He just came up, boom, 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 out of nowhere.
Yep.
And, so God with these two, and I hope Andrew, and his family, I hope you hang in there and make a full recovery here, because this is ridiculous. I mean, all the complaining and bitching and moaning about ICE and the police and all this stuff, and these people are trying to help the American people.
Right. That's what they're trying to do.
And they shoot at them. Or they
He
fight.
shot at them and killed one of them. But all these raids that going on in all these, especially these blue cities, and we never hurt anybody. We never killed anybody.
No.
But this idiot comes by and he.
Right. Right. That's the point. That's what I'm trying to. They were not ready because they don't just get attacked for no reason in most cases. And here's a guy coming up, and we're sitting here saying that our military has to, not obey orders.
Right.
Yeah. We go back to the last one. So, again, and these guys, like I said, they were from West Virginia, and they come up to D.C. to help out.
Right. Yeah.
20 years old.
I know.
Jesus Christ. So.
Crypto is not good, but
No, crypto's up.
oh, is it up?
It's coming back.
Oh,
So
that's
the stock market was up. NASDAQ was up.
Did they get the
everything was
numbers on Cyber Monday and Black Friday
up. I don't
deals?
know that yet.
I heard today in the car, supposedly record-breaking cyber ordering online.
Yeah, well, everybody's doing it. That's why.
But
these
the stock
trucks
market
are-
every day seems like it's going up and up
Yeah,
and up.
it's
Once in
getting
a while you get it, but then it goes up and up and up.
Crypto's following now too. So I'm hoping. Well, they're saying a lot about 2026. I'm trying to talk my son into coming on because he knows a lot about crypto, how it works. He gives a layman's explanation of what digital currency is about, and he's got a lot of things to say in 2026 that crypto could be something that's going to be huge.
Well, what I'm hoping on is the big beautiful bill takes place January.
Well, that's when we do our
First,
taxes. That's
next,
supposedly when we're going to see all this money.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be good. Hopefully the gas goes down even further.
But right now,
And
today
if it goes down further, then the supply chain with trucks delivering
Yep.
products and That'll go down because they
Products
don't
down.
have to pay that much in gas. And,
Gas dropped below $60 today a
Yeah.
barrel,
Oh.
so that's good.
Yeah, that is
59 and
good.
change. So the economy is looking okay. I mean, but you said it, and you said it a million times. We really got to see a sharp turn down because we can't just go by 5 cents a gallon. That's how, from last year or the other administration, like he always talks about. Gas is not down. It's down, but it's not down.
Right.
So there's a lot to go there, and I mean, yeah, we go to a little place. I'll give them a plug. We got a little place not far from us. It's called Grove Street Pub and Grill. Right. So my wife and I go. God forbid we have 2 drinks instead of 1. It's a $70 bill at a pub.
You gotta be kidding me!
No,
Really?
the burgers are $15 or
Oh.
whatever, and everything's expensive. But
Yeah.
I mean, tonight was cheap, kind of. But so yeah, I mean, you say that a lot. We want to really start seeing these prices drop and quickly before the midterms.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we got another uphill battle coming.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Is that it? Anything else?
yeah, that's about it. We got a nice show in, and please like and subscribe. Really appreciate that. I hope you liked our opening, and I hope you stayed for the entire video. It'd be really great. Even if you stay for half the video, it would be really great.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything out there. We really are. We're still increasing the numbers, increasing our subscriptions, and it looks good. So,
Yeah, I shouldn't have wore this. I look fat.
it doesn't matter what you wear. Just tell you need a smaller tent with a. Yeah. Tell what does he say? Tell Fred you need a smaller tent with a smaller snake.
We need a smaller tent.
Well, I don't know what that has to do with him being fat. It has nothing to do with it.
Smaller tent with a smaller snake,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I wanted to hit this one. You're a riot. Anyway, that's episode 51 in the books.
51.
That's cool. All right, I'm Joe.
Alrighty. And I'm Bill. We'll see you.
See you guys next week.
Yep. So long.
So long.
Bye bye.